Just know if I am bringing you a tactic video, it's because that tactic is a banger. And today's tactic is a banger. I call it the spanner. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another tactic video on the channel. My name is Clayts and today I'm going to bring you a tactic that I like to call the spanner. It is a 5 at the back, 2 in midfield and 3 striker tactic, which is quite similar to the 4-2-1-3 overload tactic that I brought you along a while ago now, and you guys seem to love that and enjoyed using it. It was working really well. I think this tactic, I might even prefer it. Let's have a look at some of the goals that you can score then with this one. Just playing over the top of me right here, look. Have a look at this. Because it features these 3 strikers, as I mentioned, you can score so many different goals. It fits with the crossing meta because your 2 wide strikers kind of play like wingers, but also you've still got 3 strikers forward, so it overloads that defense in the same way that our overload tactic did as well. I mean, just look at some of these goals. Some screamers in there, but lots of headers too. You can score plenty, and you've still got 5 players at the back, so you're also defensively solid, I think. I'm going to show you a few different examples of where this has gone really well for me, where I've used it. We'll do a little simulation where we go forward a season just to see how it goes with a random team, so you can see how it goes if you plug and play it. And also I will go through every instruction too, that if you're playing on Xbox or whatever device you might be on, then you can see if you can, replicate it in your own saves. And hopefully I'll give you some pointers as well about what works best, which players are going to work in which positions. Do they need to be right-footed, left-footed? All of those things that we usually do as well. There will be a download link, so make sure you jump into the description to find that. I'll put it on Steam, but I will also make sure there is a direct download link as well in case you want to use that too. I think that pretty much covers all of the bases. Let's jump into a bit of evidence of me showing you why this is a really good tactic. Before we do jump into the evidence, then a super quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. I'm going to keep bringing you tactics that I'm using and working really well with. This is one of the tactics we used in the Derby rebuild. We used it a little bit in the Schalke rebuild as well, and it's part of the reason we did so well in those rebuilds. We're able to do so well so quickly. I'm going to show you a bit of that Derby save here. If you enjoy it, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to bring you more in the future too. Make sure you give the video a like if you do end up downloading the tactic, and let me know in the comments down below how it goes for you. I want to hear from you. What is your feedback? Is there any tweaks that you think I should make, or actually any advice that I can give you further? I'll be happy to answer you in those comments too. Anyway, enough with that. Subscribe to the channel. We're really close to 10k. Let's get back into the video. Okay, one of the saves then that I used this tactic in was the Derby rebuild save, which was, I think it was the last video on the channel before this one, and we had some great success. Lots of you asked for this in the comments in that last video, so I wanted to show you how we got on with it and show you what the tactic was and let you guys download it as well. We got some great results here, like a 6-1 win at home to Brentford and 3-1 against Wolves. I'm just looking through and just showing you some of them. We beat Man City in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. It did lead to Derby in the 3rd season. It's 2024. Look, in the 3rd season, finishing 5th in the Premier League. Now, if you know where Derby have come from to get to this point, I feel like that is a good example of why this tactic definitely does work. I'll show you it here. Look, here it is. Just some of the players in it. You've got our centre backs here all chipping in with some really good performances. The average ratings are looking pretty good, but the best part about it is you get to play 3 strikers and they will all score goals. Sesko has 9 in 18. There's 19 for Kiefer Moore in the middle. 26 goals, look, for Ludovic Ajorque. He's really tall. He's left-footed. He plays on this left-hand side. I will talk more about that when we get into actually which roles fit where. It's just a really good example of why this tactic is super, super good. This was our 1st season in the Premier League, and we finished 5th. The 2nd season in the Championship. Let me show you that Championship table in the 2nd season of this save. If I go back to a season before here, this was the Championship table. We scored 141 goals. If that doesn't make you want to have a go at using this tactic, I don't know what will. 141 goals scored. Champions on 105 points. The season before that, by the way, with the 12 points deduction, we finished 14th. And we were in administration at the start. We couldn't sign players. I mean, this is good evidence for why this tactic works. I really think it is. Let me try and convince you a little bit more. What we're going to do next is I'm going to load up an Arsenal save. Here it is. And I'm going to put the tactic in here, as you can see. This, I'm just going to quick pick the team, as you see there. and we are going to simulate to the end of the season. I've not made any signings. We're starting the save on the first day of the season, just to show you, if you do just plug this into your save, I still think you can have success. I think there are ways to maximize that success, which we will get into. But if you just plug it in like I've just done here, we're going to snap to the end of the season, and I'm going to show you how successful it can be. Arsenal, by the way, where are they predicted to finish in the Premier League? Just to see, can we overcome that? Can we outdo that? They're predicted to finish 6th, and they don't really have the correct players for a tactic like this. For example, they don't have a left-sided striker. Lacazette is very right-footed, for example. They don't have a very good playmaker in the middle, for example. But we can still do well with Arsenal because the tactic is good enough to do so. I'll see you at the end of the season, and we'll see how they get on. I'm going to do a click now. Some of you hate this. And here we are then. It is the end of the season. And as you can see on your screens, Arsenal have finished with this tactic without signing anybody, without doing anything else to try and maximize the success, just literally plugging it in and playing with it. They finished 3rd in the league, so completely exceeding the expectations of finishing 6th. They finished above Manchester United. They finished above Chelsea. 79 points, Champions League football for Arsenal. It works. It just works. Let me show you the tactic here, just to show you some of the player stats and everything in here. You can see that Aubameyang got himself 21 goals. 15 goals from Martinelli in the team now, which is pretty good. Who had the highest average rating? You had Odegaard. I thought it might be, you see. He got an average rating of 7.42. I have a feeling, playing as this playmaker, I have a feeling he was on set pieces and he would have got some assists. He got 9 assists, 14 assists, all competitions. It's pretty good, right? This definitely works. I'm going to show you now how you go and set up your team to maximize the success. Which players do you need in which positions, as well as showing you all of the instructions as well, in case you want to copy them down. Don't worry, I will try and give you enough time so that if you need to pause, you can pause on them. Let's get into that. Okay, we are back in the Derby save now, because this is something where it's a team where we've sort of curated it over a little bit more time. So I want to talk you through the players that I've picked to play in these positions, because I feel like that's why they are a good fit to play there. So as I mentioned, this is the tactic then. Let's do the instructions first of all, just to show you. I'll click on them here. You see we have fairly narrow attacking width, pass into space, overlapping on the right and the left, slightly shorter passing directness. It has extremely high tempo. Look at the intensity on this tactic. It is very, very intense. While I was using it as attacking, I actually think it might be slightly more effective on positive. If you feel like you're struggling, maybe switching between those might be a little bit of a note. Try it, see how it goes. Obviously no time wasting. Mixed crosses, that's important. It did used to be low crosses, but let's put some high crosses in because heading is so OP in FM22. You have to play for set pieces. That is massive. Dribble less and be more expressive with the creative freedom. Those are your in possession instructions. In transition, you got counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to target forward. We'll talk about our target forward. We are actually going to use one, even though he's an advanced forward, but we'll talk about that. And take long kicks. Goalkeepers are going to take long kicks here. They will go to your central striker. So the taller they are, the better they are in the air is actually a real benefit to you. They do also need to be strong and fast. We're going to talk a lot about strikers being fast, players being fast in general. It helps. Out of possession then, these are the instructions. Use the offside trap, much higher line of engagement. It goes with this intensity thing, a higher defensive line. Use tighter marking, trigger the press much more often. It's a very high pressing tactic. And then get stuck in. Get stuck in is super important. Some of you might hate get stuck in. If you're playing PvP, by the way, playing online, I would probably take get stuck in off unless you need to really force the issue. Sometimes I like to take get stuck in off. Well, I don't like to. I feel like we have to. If we've got a few yellow cards and then I realize we really let go of the initiative, we let the other team back into the game, I really think you have to risk it and keep it on. You will get bookings and suspensions, but risk versus reward, isn't it really? Let's go through the player instructions then. Goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper. You see the instructions on here. Your goalkeeper should be tall, and I think reflex is my favorite attribute. I don't really know how much science is behind that, but that is the thing I look for in a goalkeeper. If they are tall, is it Jan Bursic? I think Joe Bursic. I'm terribly wrong. He's only 6'2", but I think I don't get a 5'11" goalkeeper. If they're over 6 foot, great. If they're 6'5", even better, I feel. You're going to have 3 central defenders now then. They are going to be ball playing defenders, all of them. The middle defender is going to be on cover. Now, the only thing to think about with that is if they are on cover, you see how it changes from defend to cover. It's the aggression that you're going to be... well, you don't need it as much. Otherwise, it's pretty much all the same. Just have a think about this. Maybe just see how they play. See their average ratings. If you're not sure where they should play, just move them across. But all of your defenders, try and make them tall. Your left-sided defender really should be left-footed or either-footed. Pape Cisse is either-footed here. They should be comfortable playing on their left. And also, the right-sided defender should be right-footed or either-footed. It's quite nice to get either-footed players into your team because they can play on both sides. Adam Webster is a great example. He's 6'3", either-footed. Pape Cisse, he's 6'6", either-footed. And then you've got Comas in the middle for me here, 6'3". It is important. It just is important. Get tall players because set pieces are still a thing. Even on the new patch, they're still a thing. It's important. We've got right and left wing backs. I didn't click on some of these players. I will do so now. You can just see some of the player instructions here. You got Webster, Comas, and then Cisse. You got Sanderson and Buchanan for me here. There are the instructions. They are wing backs on support. These players, if they can be well-rounded as a footballer, great. If they've got a bit of pace about them, even better. Don't worry too much about height on these players, but passing and being quite a nice footballer for the wing back seems to be quite important. They do tuck in quite a lot, you will find, in this tactic. So just look for that. You'll see that these players, Buchanan here, for example, they've got a lot of well-rounded stats on them or attributes on them. Into the midfield, I'll just make sure I click on him so you can see that. Into the midfield, you've got a DLP, probably the most important player in this system, I think. He's going to be your playmaker. Get this guy on your set pieces because DLPs, for some reason, don't get ratings unless they're on set pieces. Then they get mad ratings. So try and get a set piece taker here, a corner taker, a free kick taker. Boost up their rating and your team is just going to flourish if you manage to do that. Billy Gilmore was the guy for me in this season. He is good at... he's just a good playmaker, really. And then he's got decent free kicks and corners. We are Derby, remember that. So if you can get 15, 16, 17 on your free kicks and corners, you'll be living life. Gilmore has to take them for me, but I think you can probably do better than that. Knight in the midfield alongside him is just a box-to-box. Get them to be a well-rounded players. You see his instructions there. And then the fun part of the tactic is your front three. You've got a middle striker, which we talked about before. He is going to be your target man, but you're not going to play him as a target forward. He's going to be an advanced forward, but make sure they're kind of tall, really, because they are going to be the players that are on the end of the goal kicks. They're going to need to try and flick them on and start a counter-attack or start an attack from there. Kiefer Moore did a great job in the Premier League for me. Of course, he's 6'5". Got a bit of other things around him as well, like 13 pace. It's not the best, but we're Derby, as I mentioned. Fast, tall here. Someone like Alexander Isak is perfect for this role, by the way. Someone like, who else? Lorenzo Luca, also perfect for this role here. Some well-known players from FM22. Sesko and Ajorque, you've got a right-sided pressing forward who kind of plays like a winger. He is going to be fast. He is going to be... This is probably going to be your best striker, I would say. Play him on the right-hand side. Your fastest, best striker, play him here. Sesko is that guy for me. Just really, really good. He's also 6'5". Again, useful. And then on the other side, you'll see, actually, your two pressing forwards will cross to each other and head it in. I play Davy Schalke, or Salkau, as we've called him in my Hereford save. He plays on the left-hand side. He's 6'4". He scores so many goals because of it. Ajorque, very similar, 6'6". Look, he's left-footed. If you can get left-footed on the left and right-footed on the right, perfect. If you can't do that, don't worry too much about it. I would say right-footed on the right, definitely, but left-footed if you can on the right. But Davy Salker's right-footed and he's brilliant on this left-hand side here. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that's what you wanted me to do for a tactics video. I think we've covered everything there. I've shown you it works. I've made it available to download. I've shown you all of the instructions so you can copy them if you want to. I've told you which players you should have in which positions. I think I've ticked every box. Thank you so much for watching. I think we'll leave it there for today. If you enjoyed this, or if this is useful for you, please do make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are so close. I think we're 250 subscribers as I film this, away from 10k. It'd be amazing to hit it. But thank you for all the support recently as well. We've got a lot more subscribers in. And if you're new, welcome. Let me know in the comments down below. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day, though. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.